the past 2 years of my life have been a bit of a roller coaster ride. As it turns out, your early and mid-20s are a bit of a shitstorm. I wish someone had sent me the memo. Yet through all of the ups and downs, teary-eyed conversations, and the moments of epic celebrations, I started to really and truly love myself. Showing up fully in life is a tall order, especially when the happenings in your life shape you to your core. But in willingly showing up for the good and the bad, something magical happens. You begin living the life you've always dreamed of. That's how I felt the past 8 months since coming on board as the producer of Dream Girl, a film about female founders and entrepreneurs. As we gear up to launch this film this fall, I'm feeling overwhelmed, anxious, excited, and in awe all at once. We are a Kickstarter-funded film. We brought in over $100,000 from over 2,000 backers and supporters. Our director and my inspiring co-producer, Erin Bagwell, created the campaign and film after being sexually harassed in the workplace. After that experience, she started a side project where she started interviewing inspiring women across New York City. And eventually, the idea for Dream Girl was born. We know the stories of Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, but who are the female founders? What do their lives look like? As soon as I saw that Kickstarter trailer back in August, I was hooked. This film was about my life. I started my first company 2 years ago at 23, and I finally felt like I found my tribe when I saw these beautiful, powerful women on the screen in front of me. From Joanne Wilson, a venture capitalist out of New York City, to Marie Forleo and Suzanne West, an oil maiden redefining how to extract oil out of Calgary. The film tells the most beautiful stories. I'm 25 years old, and I'm producing a film that makes me feel alive. I'm doing what I love, and I really love what I'm doing. Getting to this point didn't take one aha moment, and it sure as hell didn't happen overnight. So what did help me get here? I have 5 tenets I want to share with you that has helped me get to this point of living my dreams. The first, to what Catherine was saying earlier, dream big. There's a moment in your life when you know you're destined for something greater. There's a tiny voice inside you telling you to dream big. That's a quote from our director, Erin Bagwell, from the trailer that we launched on International Women's Day. I can't really explain how I knew I was going to make a lasting mark on this world. From a young age, I dreamt of a world where every single person felt loved and taken care of, and as though they could make their wildest dreams a reality. Since coming on board with Dream Girl, I've accepted that I am indeed a positive force in making this audacious dream come true, along with the dreams of thousands of other women. There's no real recipe for dreaming big. It's a cultivated practice that takes place in your moments of greatest vulnerability, both when you're at your worst and when you're at your best. It's in those moments that you feel so fearful yet so free, and it's in those moments that you can remind yourself what you're truly capable of, and envision it for yourself. It's in those moments you're more likely to find your why. So I encourage you to let go in those moments, even though it's scary as hell, because that's where your greatest dreams will be realized. You totally got this. I think that's more to myself than everybody else. We'll all hold on to that. So number 2 is work hard. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. That's from Aristotle. I've struggled with being a people pleaser my whole life. It's been detrimental to my understanding of my self-worth, because for years, I failed to acknowledge just how much I was doing for others, and just how little I was doing for myself. For a while, I really hated myself. When I realized that no one else was going to take care of my spiritual, mental, and physical health but me, things shifted. I continued to be there for the ones I loved, and people who needed love and support. But I also made time for myself. Making this shift gave me so much more energy to dream and to work my ass off. Most people don't know what part of the world I am in on any given day. I'm always on the go because I know that when I am in the same room as the person I want to work with, or know in my heart I need to work with, I can move mountains. I'm able to function at my best in moments of crisis, and I make stuff happen that many have told me is near impossible. What others sometimes have labeled as crazy and self-sacrificial, I knew I had to do in order to grow as a person. And it's brought me here in front of you today. There's no easy road to living your dreams, and it's about showing up every single day and making it count. It will be hard, but it's so worth it. Do the work, do it for yourself, and you'll be on fire in the best ways possible. Number 3, show up and follow through. It's one thing to have a dream, but it's another beast entirely, as probably everyone in this room knows, to make that dream come to life. In January, on a whim, I decided to go to the Sundance Film Festival on behalf of Dreamgirl and to support a documentary that was being premiered at the festival called The Mask We Live In. To say I was nervous is an understatement. In my mind, I was diving headfirst into a volcano. I'm a first-time film producer. I literally wrote producer with a Sharpie on my badge for Sundance to validate to myself that this is what I was actually doing. And it was my first industry experience. En route to Salt Lake City, Utah, my flight got canceled in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I had never visited this part of the U.S. before, and I had already missed one of the main events I was going to attend at Sundance. So I did what any logical person would have done. I had myself a big cry, a long cry, and I rented a minivan, and I drove through the mountains 5 hours to Park City, Utah. I got in at midnight. There were so many moments on that drive where I was ready to call it quits. I was ready to go back home to Ottawa. But that tiny voice inside of me, and my boyfriend Mitch on the other end of the phone, kept encouraging me to push forward. And I'm so happy that I did because Sundance blew my mind. On my first day, I pitched Mindy Kaling to be the narrator of our film during a live panel discussion with Lena Dunham, Kristen Wiig, Jenji Cohen, and Emily Nussbaum of the New York Times. I knew I wouldn't have another opportunity, and so I went for it. I was the last question of the panel, and the audience and panelists were totally into it. We ended up sitting next to each other at dinner that night, Mindy and I pitched her again. And that night, sitting alone at the bar after I did that, and I had all this adrenaline pumping through my veins, I met this really kind man next to me, who ended up being the producer of the film that opened the film festival, and he's since become my mentor. I showed up for the shitstorm that was the beginning of that trip, but I also followed through every day. I was focused on what I was there to accomplish. I dared to dream that I would be able to pitch Mindy on our film, and eventually have her involved in some capacity, which I'm still working on, so send me all the positive vibes, please. And showing up also led us to putting in a partnership proposal with my mentor for our next round of financing. So don't be afraid of showing up, and don't be afraid of doing the work and following through. It takes all you got, but the rewards are immense. Number 4, be a solid human. We've all had those times in our lives when everything is going wrong. And it takes so much energy to even wake up in the mornings. So when you're working with someone, or know someone going through a hard time, simply be a nice person. My business partner and co-producer and the director of Dreamgirl, Erin Bagwell, was a goddess for me when I recently had to take an unexpected trip to India after a family member passed away, just days after I returned from Sundance. It was about a month or 3 weeks before we were launching our trailer on International Women's Day, and I had to go away for a full 3 weeks to be with my family. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to show up. She didn't have to be kind to me. But she did. And that's why I love working with her. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Being a good person takes many different forms, but at its core are the following. Don't get gossip. Laugh often. Be nice. Respect your elders. That one my mom likes super ingrained in my head. And give people a chance and be open to awesome. Don't close yourself off to the world. There's so much excellence in this world that you can feed off of and be inspired by. All that energy you spend hating, judging, criticizing, you could be spending uplifting both yourself and the people around you. Also, be mindful of who you keep around you. What I've learned in short life that I've had so far is that energy vampires are the absolute worst. If someone is bringing you down and can't stand seeing you shine your light, they're not meant to be part of your life. Keep this in mind about yourself and your own internal dialogue as well. Make sure you are being the kind of person you want to spend time with. You spend the most time with yourself, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Remember, people invest in you. If you have a great product or idea, that's awesome, but at the end of the day, people will give you a chance if you give them a chance to see the real kind of authentic you. Finally, be grateful. One of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. I didn't get here alone. There are generations of people who came before me, who sacrificed and worked so that I could lead this beautiful life. Every day I am in awe of what I've been doing in this life, and I am so grateful to have the family and friends that I have, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. It's important to cultivate gratitude about the good in your life, but it's critical to cultivate the gratitude for the bad stuff as well. This often takes time, as it's really hard to see the calm when you're in the heart of the storm, but it does get easier over time. Again, it's a practice that's cultivated over time. Now, when things get crazy, I am able to stay level-headed and understand that whatever is happening is going to help me grow in ways I never thought possible. I go back to the basics and focus on my routine. Exercise, meditate, love. It's helped me make the walk into the ICU to see a family member in critical condition doable. It's helped me make it through the hard business moments. And it's helped me pick myself up off the ground after I've lost someone I love. Gratitude is the key to your mental and spiritual freedom. There will always be a reason to not show up fully to this life. But if you choose to face each moment with clarity in your mind and gratitude in your heart, you'll be limitless. Basically, what I'm saying is, there's no easy out. If it's hard, it's supposed to be. Show up for it. Let it transform you. Let yourself feel everything, the good and the bad. Be persistent, humble, joyful, and solid. Don't let other people's success be your reason for not being enough. Choose to be awesome and choose to feel good. You have everything you need to live your dreams. You just have to want to do it. Every moment in our lives is a choice. I made a choice early on to commit my life to working to uplift the lives of women and girls globally. Take the time to ask yourself what really gets you going, and then go freaking do it. So, in terms of Dream Girl itself, again, thank you to Catherine for having us today. We're launching the film this fall on October 2nd, and we're launching our digital pre-sale for the film on May 4th. So if you want to find out more, you can visit dreamgirlfilm.com. You can come take a picture with our Polaroid that we were walking around with earlier, or you can come say hi. Thank you, ladies, so much. What you collectively do and the energy you bring inspires me incredibly. And it's such an honor to be here with you all today, celebrating Ladies Who Lunch. Thank you.
Tattooed on your body somewhere? Like, would it be weird if I got your whole speech? Because I want to hear that forever and for the rest of my life in my head.